DEI was once hailed as a breakthrough, but now it's under siege. So what's next? Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, used to be the golden standard for addressing systemic inequality while simultaneously driving better business outcomes. It was seen as a win-win, until it wasn't. In recent years, DEI has become a lightning rod for criticism, politicized to the point where its original purpose has been overshadowed by controversy. And this is the part most people miss. As the narrative around DEI shifted, many of us working in the space didn't pivot fast enough. Suddenly, DEI was being portrayed as a threat to meritocracy, an ideology that supposedly favored identity over competence. Whether or not that portrayal was accurate, spoiler, it wasn't. It gained momentum. DEI became a political target, and soon, policy followed suit. Executive orders began threatening to cut federal funding for organizations that embraced DEI, forcing many professionals to scramble for alternatives that wouldn't attract political backlash. Enter pluralism, neutral, academic, and problematic? In a thought-provoking article from The New Yorker, journalist Emma Green proposed pluralism as a potential successor to DEI. On the surface, it seems like a safe bet. It's not politically charged. And its scholarly roots lend it a sense of impartiality. But here's where it gets controversial. That very neutrality might be its biggest flaw. Having studied pluralism during my time in seminary, I'm familiar with its principles. According to Harvard's Pluralism Project, it's more than just tolerance. It's about engaging deeply with diverse beliefs and perspectives. Pluralism encourages meaningful dialogue, even when views conflict. It asks us to understand, not just coexist. That sounds noble, right? So why did I feel uneasy when someone suggested pluralism as a replacement for DEI in the corporate world? Here's the catch. Academia is built for pluralism. Students are expected to wrestle with ideas, challenge assumptions, and grow through intellectual debate. Classrooms offer grace and space for reflection. But business isn't a seminar room. Hiring managers aren't evaluating potential for growth. They're looking for proven skills. When mistakes happen in the workplace, the response isn't philosophical, it's practical. Fix the issue, reduce the risk, move forward. Pluralism might offer a compelling framework for dialogue, but it doesn't come with the structural tools needed to dismantle inequity. It assumes that everyone enters the conversation on equal footing, that all voices are welcomed, and that emotional intelligence is a given. But in reality, workplaces are messy. Harm isn't theoretical. It's lived. And it has real consequences. So why the sudden embrace of pluralism? Could it be that pluralism feels easier? It doesn't demand the same level of accountability. It allows companies to adopt a posture of agree to disagree without addressing the root causes of inequality. That's a dangerous path. It echoes the misguided I don't see color mindset, well-intentioned but ultimately dismissive of real lived experiences. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a wound that needs surgery. Back in 2020, the murder of George Floyd exposed just how deep that wound ran. For many business leaders, it was a wake-up call. They saw, perhaps for the first time, the pain their colleagues of color were carrying. They asked hard questions. What role do I play? How can I help? DEI became the go-to solution, but building a truly inclusive culture isn't a quick fix. It's not something you delegate to HR and forget. And when concerns were raised, some valid, others less so, we often brushed them aside. That lack of engagement created fractures that have now erupted into full-blown backlash. Let's be clear, the problem isn't DEI itself, it's how we've chosen to implement it. Swapping it out for pluralism won't solve anything. Changing the terminology in a corporate handbook won't prevent workplace conflict or foster equity. As leaders, our responsibility goes beyond buzzwords. We must show up with honesty, clarity, and a willingness to engage in difficult conversations. That's how we build workplaces where diversity isn't just tolerated, it's celebrated. If pluralism has a role in business, it's not as a replacement for DEI. It can complement it, offering a framework for dialogue, but it must be paired with real commitments to justice and equity. Now it's your turn. Do you think pluralism can truly serve the goals DEI set out to achieve? Or is it just a convenient detour around uncomfortable truths? Let's talk about it in the comments.